I was hooked. That was it. That was the moment for me. I don't know anything about anything. I love Selena. Not now, Blake. I'm in the middle of a very important duel. Just one more chapter. And then before you know it, it's 2 a.m. and you're like, oh no. I finally started Throne of Glass for the very first time. It has been a long time coming, but it is finally happening. Not gonna lie, I feel like a unicorn because I am a book girly. I'm a book girly who loves fantasy and I am involved in the online book community, but I literally know nothing about this series. I have managed to stay completely spoiler-free all these years. Like not one spoiler. I don't know character names. I don't know the storylines. I don't know plot twists. I don't know who the fandom loves and hates. Let me get the book. When we got to the castle in this book, I was like, oh, it's made of glass. The title makes sense then. I had no idea. I didn't even read the back of the book before I started this. And y'all, let me level with you. I was going to be super chill and calmly group these books into a few different videos. Video 1, the first 3 books. Video 2, the next 2 books, etc. Very composed, very structured. But I have just finished book 1 and I now have 0 chill. So that plan has left the building and I am now going to do live reaction videos from here on out because your girl has some thoughts to share. For this one though, we're going to do a cozy debrief. Like I just FaceTimed you after reading your favorite book so we can gab about it. The first part of this video will be spoiler free. And then I will warn you very clearly before we enter into spoiler territory because I gotta talk about some stuff. Okay? Okay, let's talk about Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Quick note on reading order. There is a long-running debate on when to read Assassin's Blade, which is the prequel to the series. Some people swear by doing it chronologically, so reading this first. Others say to read it third, which is publication order. And a chaotic few argue for fourth, which I don't totally understand, but I respect. I asked you all on the internet which order you would recommend, and the responses were so fun and passionate. Everyone feels so passionate about this. After overthinking it for a very long time, I have decided to read it third. Here's my reasoning. I only get one chance to experience this whole story without the backstory. I can always reread it in the future in chronological order, but I can't unread something. Like I can't unknow the information in this book. So I'm preserving my one shot at ignorance. For better or for worse, that's the order I'm doing. Before I dive into all of my unfiltered spoilery thoughts, I want to give a proper spoiler-free recap for anyone who hasn't read Throne of Glass yet and is trying to decide if you want to pick it up. If you're about to read this book for the very first time, this is genuinely what I would tell you. Go in blind. Honestly, you could stop this video right now and go and pick it up and then come back after you've read it. That's how I experienced it and I really loved that. Like literally knowing nothing. If you need a little more convincing, allow me. In terms of getting into it, I personally did not struggle at all. I had heard some people say that it's slow to start or it takes a while to find its footing, but that wasn't my experience. The beginning felt intentional and controlled, like it was laying a foundation. So maybe that's what people meant, but I personally didn't think that it lagged at all. And then you start to sense that there's some more happening beneath the surface, and that underlying tension is really what hooked me. I was hooked very early on. As for Selena, like I said, I have not read Assassin's Blade, so I don't have her whole backstory, but I actually loved that. It felt like getting to know her organically and in real time. Obviously, I don't know for sure what my recommended reading order would be, but I can say at this point that I wasn't confused, I was curious. Selena is intense and confident and theatrical in a way that I found really charming. You can tell that she's presenting a version of herself to the world that she wants the world to see, but that there's more underneath. And I like that she's multifaceted like that. If you're wondering about romance, I would say it's present, but it doesn't overpower the storyline. Like if the spectrum is romantasy to high fantasy, it definitely leans towards romantasy, but I'd say it's more middle of the spectrum. Her writing is so immersive. Even in this, which is her debut novel that she started writing when she was 16 and then published 10 years later, that is so freaking impressive to me. I cannot get over that. I could feel how intentional she is with her writing and especially her characters. You can tell that she takes great care. So I can see the foundation for what I already know is elite, unmatched writing. And I know that because I have already read and been blown away by the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the only other Sarah J. Maas I've read at this point. So going from that to this, I can see little ways that this was a debut novel because I came from experiencing her as this seasoned writer who has really honed her craft to her very first. There were just a few technical things that I noticed. The biggest one for me was during dialogue. There was no description as to the tone of the conversation. People would be talking and there would be no cue as to like their facial expression or their emotion. So I would be like, what is the tone of this conversation? Are we mad? Are we fighting? Are we playful? Are we teasing? Like happy, sad? Where are we at? But I will say those were brief and they never pulled me out of the story. Her writing is so immersive and it had enough other things propelling the story that it was just kind of like I noticed it and moved on. So it's exciting to know how I will continue to witness her writing grow and develop over the course of this series. There is a bee in here and I tried to help it out and it won't go out. So if you hear buzzing, that is a bee fighting for its life, trying to get out when the door is literally open. So what are you gonna do? Overall, I finished this book feeling really invested and excited to pick up the next one immediately, which is always a good sign for the first book in a long series. I gave it 4.25 stars and I immediately wanted to continue. So if you are on the fence, yes, I think it's worth picking up. And if you can protect your blind reading experience, I would really recommend that. Okay, from here on out, we are entering spoiler territory. Consider this your warning. If you haven't read it yet, go read it. Come back when you're ready. I'll be here waiting for you and we can gab about it then. Okay, are they gone? Girl. Whoever said this takes time to get into was dead wrong. I was hooked by chapter 6. You know, when they're in the magical forest. First of all, a magical forest. And then the fairies leave Selena flowers in her tent right after we learn like, oh, fairies probably aren't in the magical forest anymore. I was hooked. That was it. That was the moment for me. I was like, this is exactly everything I want. Magical forest, fairies, forbidden magic. Love it. Love it. When's the magic coming back? Bring it on. For real though, that was the moment for me that I was like, oh, this is something special. I am invested and I need to find out more. I stayed up way too late reading this. You know when you tell yourself just one more chapter and then before you know it, it's 2 a.m. and you're like, oh no. And then you're negotiating with your responsibilities. It's like, oh, I shouldn't read one more chapter, but then you count the pages and you're like, it's only 8 pages. That was me. So no, I did not struggle to get into this. I was fully locked in the first sitting, really. I know I already did in the spoiler-free section, but here in the spoiler section, let's talk about Selena some more. I love Selena. I love that she is both deadly and deeply soft. I think that's where her young age actually is a strength in her at this point. There's that perseverance and hope that comes with youth. Like, even though things have always been bad, maybe they won't always be so bad. And I think that's really beautiful. Like, everything she's experienced, she could easily be hardened and harsh and callous. And of course there are ways that she is like that, but there is also this deeply soft and feminine person underneath all of that. And I think that's really hard to balance and do in a character. And she really is all of that. We get the assassin, the confidence, the sharp wit, but we also get her love of beauty and art and her competitiveness and her immaturity. She's so multifaceted and she doesn't feel hardened in this one note way. I just love her. Already a big fan. Like I have already made abundantly clear, I don't know anything about anything. I have no idea who ships who and if the whole fandom hates somebody or if there's this big plot twist or anything like that. So here are my unfiltered, uninfluenced thoughts on the romance / love triangle so far. A part of me is so nervous, having been bamboozled by Sarah J. Maas before, but I am going to share confidently in this moment, even if I change my mind later. I wanted more Kale. Kale? Cole. Kale. How on earth do you say these names? I didn't listen to the audiobook, so if I mispronounce any of these names, that's why. I'm going with Kale for this video. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me in the comments with how to say it. Obviously, they're spending every day together, but we hardly see it on the page. Especially like the 50% to the 80% mark, we hardly see any interactions between Selena and Kale. Meanwhile, she sees Dorian here and there, but we see every single interaction that they have, which I didn't care for because I am firmly Team Kale. So I wanted to see more with him. And don't get me wrong, I like Dorian a lot. I think he's a strong character and he deserves love, but he can be with someone else. One thing I really appreciated about this book was the closed door aspect of it. It's wild that at this point in time, that's what's refreshing. Like, oh, a fantasy that's actually good and fun and engaging and adventurous that is closed door. But there was tension and a love triangle, and let me just tell you, I ate it up. I ate it up. And Nehemiah, I really like her character, and I love how Sarah J. Maas writes female friendships. If there's one thing about me, it's that I hate girl against girl. I hate that trope every single time. And we have a little bit of that with, what's her face? What's her name? Caltaine. There was a little bit of that with Lady Caltaine, but I do think that will be redeemed at some point. However, I will say I do go back and forth with how much I trust Nehemiah. I don't know. She is a mysterious woman full of many secrets. So if she betrays Selena, I'm gonna riot. So she better not. And I hope she doesn't, but I go back and forth. Let's just talk about the last 15% of this book. The last 15% of this book was wild. The final duel, I was losing my mind. When she was drugged, I was so stressed. I was like, Selena, how are we gonna get out of this, girl? And of course, that was one of those moments when my husband kept asking me questions. And I was like, not now, Blake. I'm in the middle of a very important duel. And it's like, I knew she wouldn't die, but I didn't not know she wouldn't die. You know? And the second it ended, I was ready for book 2. I'm like, let's keep this train moving. No processing time, no emotional cool down, just boop, next one, give it to me. Oh, a sip of my calming tea. It got me all worked up again. So yes, I gave this 4.2 stars and I am immediately picking up Crown of Midnight. Moving forward, these will be live reaction style. Just reading the first book, I'm like, oh yeah, I think this is gonna be one of my new favorite series. And I love experiencing people experience my favorite series for the first time. I know that this is a beloved series. I already know I'm gonna love it. So I just thought it would be fun. Like it's just a fun thing to see someone experience what you love for the first time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do live reactions moving forward, starting with this bad boy. So if you want to experience or re-experience this series with someone who genuinely knows nothing and will be surprised at every turn, then stick around, come along with me. And please, no spoilers beyond Throne of Glass in the comments section. I am not posting these until I have finished the whole series because I am too scared of spoilers. Like I didn't come all this way to have something spoiled by accident in the home stretch. So we can talk about this book in this video and then, you know, in subsequent videos, but I want to keep the comment section safe for any other first time readers out there. So thanks for being here. I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with you all. I am having so much fun already. I did start Crown of Midnight and have started filming my live reactions, so you better be ready for that. So thanks for being here and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.